Don't miss any content. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sahara Football. It's Thursday and it's time for a throwback. Today we're going back to the 2000 CAF Champions League game between Esperance De Tunis and ACCRA here at the Accra Sports Stadium. Look at that memorable afternoon when ACCRA secured the treble. Yeah, they won 3 trophies in that season with CECIL Jones ATTUQUAYEFIO at the helm for the Phobians, and we'll look back at that tournament. We'll look at the road to the final for ACCRA. We'll look at the starting lineup for ACCRA. We'll look at some of the players that contributed significantly to that win, and we'll look at the story of that second leg game that ensured that ACCRA beat Esperance De Tunis to secure the title. As usual, I am your host, CECIL. You know how we do here every Thursday. We throw back to a memorable occasion in Ghana football and we look back at it and reminisce on it. I ask you where you were during that time. So I just jump right into it. This was the 36th edition of the CAF Champions League, and it had a really different format from what we are used to now. Final at that time used to be played over 2 legs. Most recently, if you remember, CAF has changed that and we now play the final on 1 occasion at a neutral venue. Home and away is how it was to be played at that time. Now, ACCRA, you have to know, at the time in the year 2000 had been known as one of the most formidable forces in Ghana football, but unfortunately they had failed to win at the continental stage. They appointed CECIL Jones ATTUQUAYEFIO. He came to be known as Sir because of his amazing tactical nose in terms of football, and CECIL Jones ATTUQUAYEFIO was brought in 1998 to help ACCRA make a mark on the continental stage and win a trophy. Asante Kotoko had won the CAF Champions League prior to this, and ACCRA, it was their time to make a mark on the continent. Now, this tournament started from the 30th of January 2000 to the 17th of December. It involved the preliminary round of fixtures before a first round and a second round before the group stages. Now, there were 2 groups in all, but ACCRA did not take part in the preliminary stages. The first round, they played Horoya AC and beat them on aggregate 4-3. At home, ACCRA won 2-1, and they traveled away. They drew 2-2 with Horoya AC. Now, in the second round, Hearts played DC Motiama Pembe. They beat them also 4-3 on aggregate as well. It was a 4-1 win at home for ACCRA, and they lost 2-0 away. It ended 4-3 on aggregate. Now, the teams were separated into 2 groups each, Group A and Group B, and ACCRA were in B along with Alali, Lobby Stars, and Jean Diak. In Group A was Esperance De Tunis, Mamelodi Sundowns, Africa Sports, and Sabel FC. Now, at the end of the group stages, the top 2 in each group immediately moved to the final of this competition. Now, in this competition, ACCRA had so many influential players. Ishmaelado was an influential player for them. Also for ACCRA was Emmanuel Osei-Kuffour, a mercurial forward for them as well, and he and Ishmaelado were the best players in that time, in that heyday. Right now, they are well into their 40s, and ACCRA, I'm sure ACCRA star supporters will remember them fondly. Charles Taylor too was part of this squad of players for ACCRA. So, in the final, ACCRA took on Esperance De Tunis. The first leg was played in Tunisia at the Stade El Menza in Tunis. The attendance at the stadium was 30,000. Now, ACCRA in this game, 36th minute, they were goal down. Esperance De Tunis, they had to rally back into the game. Ishmaelado in the 52nd minute got a goal for them before Emmanuel Osei-Kuffour scored the winner for them in the 79th minute to take an away victory into the second leg of the CAF Champions League. And it's the second leg we're going to look at today, ACCRA versus Esperance De Tunis. But before we look at that game here on your screen, we'll take you through the lineup for the day for ACCRA. Now, in goal was Sami Eje. He was an upcoming goalkeeper, a real talented goalkeeper for ACCRA. Dan Quay, Jacob Nete, Edward Achemandia, Stephen Tete, Joe Ansa, Charles Alote. He was replaced by Emmanuel Ajugu in the 46th minute. Aja Tete Edmond, he was replaced by Edmond Cobson in the 67th minute. Ishmael Ado, Emmanuel Osei-Kufuor, and Charles Taylor himself, who was replaced by Osmanu Amadou in the 73rd minute. So Accra Folk had it all to play for. Emmanuel Osei-Kufuor won the top goal scorer of the tournament with 10 goals, and this was their starting lineup. The starting lineup of both teams that I go to Esperance De Tunis, the goalkeeper was Chokri El Oua. He was replaced later on in the game. Tarek Thabet was also replaced later on in the game by Ben Ahmed in the 85th minute. Walid Aziz, Radi Jaidi, Hakim Noura, Mohamed Bed Hiafi, Hassan Gapsi, Marud Melki, and also in there was Adlauton, Reynaldo, and Ali Zitono. It was a really enthralling encounter. But before I begin, we watch the game. I'll just give you a fun fact about this game. Now, this game was marred by some violence in the second leg, and the match was interrupted for 80 minutes at 75 minutes when Esperance De Tunis were leading 1-0 after tear gas was fired into a rioting crowd by police, with one canister landing in the VIP box. Now, Esperance De Tunis protested against the result, but the protest was rejected. It was marred by the antics of the Esperance goalkeeper, Chokri El Oua, who deliberately injured himself. Can you imagine? With the intent to get the game abandoned, since Esperance had exhausted their substitution. He was banned for a year by CAF for gamemanship after the game. Wow. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I think he understood this pretty well. Injured himself, sought to get the game cancelled, and the result cancelled, and the replay played, but CAF would have none of that, and I'm really excited about that. So we go straight into the game. Esperance De Tunis taking on Accra Folk in the second leg here at the Accra Sports Stadium. Let's go have a look at that game and how Accra Folk recorded that all-important victory to make themselves continental champions and treble winners, winning the FA Cup, the Ghana Premier League, and the Champions League as well. So there you have it. Accra Folk versus Esperance De Tunis here at the Accra Sports Stadium. It's a corner. The capacity here at the stadium, Mohene Sports Stadium, was 45,000. Esperance De Tunis took the lead. For Accra Folk had to rally back once again. This is the equalizer by Emmanuel Osei-Kufuor. 1-1. Emmanuel Osei-Kufuor with the equalizer for Accra Folk after Esperance De Tunis had taken the lead. Yes. Hearts 1, Esperance 1. Look at this jam-packed Accra Sports Stadium. My goodness. I think this was the incident about the canister that was thrown into the field with the tear gas. This is the goal again by Emmanuel Osei-Kufuor. Esperance De Tunis 1, Accra Folk 1. At this point, Hearts were leading on aggregate 3-2. I think this is another goal for Accra Folk. This was the goal. And it's a goal. What? The Phobians are in the mood. And it was really great times for Accra Folk fans. So ecstatic in the stands. Accra Folk had been doing well in the Ghana Premier League, but failed in the continental stage. It was a memorable, really memorable. It's a jam-packed stadium. Obviously, here Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO Phobians, as they are called.
First leg of this final went in front for another. Come back to lead right to the reverse. Ensure that the South African bit of the World Cup was not helped by some of the teams through the last Champions League.
So that is the third goal there, making it 3-1 for Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO. Ishmael Ado. The third for Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO, that made it 3-1 and 5-2 on aggregate. ATTUQUAYEFIO champions, outright champions. So I see the stadium, my goodness, jam-packed, it's spilling over. So this is the trophy presentation. Issa Hayatu, then CAF president. E.T. Mensah in your shot as well. So many players from Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO of blessed memory. Some are not with us anymore. CECIL Jones, ATTUQUAYEFIO, most notably the coach of ATTUQUAYEFIO, who led this amazing squad to this historic treble win. It was great. It was great times for Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO. Issa Hayatu was then CAF president. His successor was Ahmad not long ago. My goodness, that's how trophy presentations were done in the year 2000. It's quite interesting. My goodness, the fans had really given their all to Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO. Ishmael Ado and Emmanuel Sekufo. The trophy being presented to Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO captain. He lifts the trophy, and ATTUQUAYEFIO crowned champions of Africa in the CAF Champions League in the year 2000. Second Ghanaian side to win it after Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Kumasi Asante Kotoko had won it before Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO, and Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO were the second side to ever win the CAF Champions League. So there is it. We've been looking at the 2000 CAF Champions League final between Esperance De Tunis and Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO. Where were you at that final? Where did you watch it? Were you at the stadium? How was the atmosphere like if you were at the stadium? Let me know your thoughts in the comments box. It's been another throwback on our Throwback Thursday edition here on Sahara Football. Today we've been looking at Accra ATTUQUAYEFIO and their 2000 treble winning side. More specifically, their win in the CAF Champions League final against Esperance De Tunis. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy your day.